Hello everyone! I'm Fred.
I'm Anna.
I'm Mel.
And we are the Team Fun! We are here to discuss some topics about ratio analysis, which are dividend payout ratio, time interest earned ratio, and earning price per share ratio. But before anything else, Anna will going to discuss and give some brief explanation about ratio analysis. Anna, come over.
Thanks, Fred. Regarding to what I read in the book, ratio analysis is a form of analysis that is used to obtain a quick indication of a firm's financial performance in several key areas. So, here's Joy to discuss about what parts of ratio analysis. Joy?
Now,
Thank you,
we're going to
Anna.
discuss the 17 kinds of ratio analysis. First is gross margin percentage. The second, earnings per share of common stock. Third, price earning ratio. Fourth, dividend payout ratio. Fifth, dividend yield ratio. Sixth, return on total assets. Seventh, return on common stockholders' equity. Eighth, book value per share. 9, working capital. 10, current ratio. 11, asset debt ratio. 12, accounts receivable turnover. 13, average collection period. 14, average sale period. 15, average sale period. 16, time interest earned. 17, debt to equity ratio. I'm the first reporter who will be discuss about earnings per share ratio. Earnings per share ratio measures how many dollars of net income have been earned by each share of common stock. It is computed by dividing the net income less preferred dividend by the number of shares of common stock outstanding during the period. It is popular measures of overall profitability of the company. It is usually expressed in dollars. And there are some formula. There's a formula. Earnings per share ratio is computed by the following formula. Net income minus preferred dividend divided to weighted average number of shares outstanding. The numerator is the net income available for common stockholders. Net income less the preferred dividend. In the denominator is the average number of shares of common stock outstanding during the year. It does not include preferred shares. The formula of EPS ratio is similar to the formula of return on common stockholders' equity ratio, except the denominator of EPS ratio formula is the number of average shares of common stockholders outstanding ratio rather than the average common stockholders' equity. Following data has been extracted from the financial statement of Madison Company. You are required to compute the earnings per share ratio of the company. Net income for the year, $105,000. $5 per value common stock outstanding of June 30 is 20,000. Weighted average numbers of share outstanding, 20,000 plus 20,000 divided by 2. Net income divided the total average, 20,000 equals 5.25 per share. The EPS ratio, 5.25 per share. It means every share of the common stock earns $5.25 of net income. That's up next. Freda will going to discuss dividend payout ratio after the commercial break.
Back, I am here to discuss about the dividend payout ratio. What is a dividend payout ratio, or the significance of dividend payout ratio? Dividend payout ratio, or DPR, is an index showing whether a company pays out most of its earning in dividend or reinvests its earning internally. It means that DPR is the amount of dividend paid to stockholders relative to the amount of total net income of a company. The amount that is not paid out in dividends to stockholders is held by the company for growth. The amount that is kept by the company is called retained earnings. DPR is very useful calculation for the potential investors because it indicates how much of company's earnings are being paid out in the form of dividends. To get the DPR or dividend payout ratio, this is the formula. Dividend payout ratio is equivalent, dividend payout ratio is equivalent to dividend per share or DPS, dividend per share or DPS over earning per share, or divided by earning per share. For example, you're considering investing in a company that currently has 200 million shares outstanding and would like to examine its most recent dividend payout ratio per share. Assume that this company has reported a dividend per share of $1 and an earning per share of $2. So our formula is dividend payout ratio is equivalent to dividend per share over earning per share. So DPR is equivalent to, our dividend per share is equivalent to $1 and our earning per share is equivalent to $2. So 1 divided by 2 is equivalent to 0.50. We will going to multiply it by 100 because we will get the percentage. 0.50 times 100 is equivalent to 50%. So it means that the dividend payout ratio of 50% shows that this company has distributed 50% of its net income to its shareholders in the form of dividends. When the result of dividend payout ratio is greater than 1, it tells that a business is paying out more in dividend than its actual generating in earnings. This is not a sustainable practice, since it means that the company in question will be found to use up cash reserve, sales of asset, or resort of debt in order to fund its ongoing shareholder obligation. Ideally, you should look for those firms with a dividend payout ratio of less than 0.6. When a business pays out 60% or less of its net income to investors, it means that it will have 40% or more to its earning, left over to fund its own growth and expansion. And we will be right back after this commercial break.
Hi everyone, here's Anna again, going to report the time interest earned. So, what is time interest earned? Time interest earned is the measure the company's ability to make interest payments. Time interest earned also is the sometimes called the interest coverage ratio. Coverage ratio, which means that measures the proportionate amount of income that can be used to cover interest expenses in the future. In some respect, the time interest ratio is considered as a solvency ratio because it measures a firm's ability to make interest and debt service payments are usually made on a long-term basis. They are often treated as ongoing fixed expenses, as with most fixed expenses. If the company can't make the payments, it could go bankrupt and cease to exist. Thus, this ratio could be considered as a solvency ratio. Time interest earned ratio, considered as the most common measure of the company's ability to provide protection to its long-term creditors, is the time interest earned ratio. Interest earned ratio, or TIRE, can be computed by dividing earnings before interest expense and income taxes by interest expense. Okay, I give some examples how to get the TIRE, or time interest earned ratio. Tim's Title Service is a construction company that is currently applying for a new loan to buy equipment. The bank asked Tim for his financial statement before they will consider his loan. Tim's income statement shows that he made $500,000 of income before interest expense and income taxes. Tim's overall interest expense for the year has only $50,000. Tim's time to interest earned would be calculated like formula of TIRE, or time interest earned ratio, is equal to earnings before interest and income taxes, which is $500,000 over interest expense, which is $50,000. $500,000 divided by $50,000 is equal to 10. So, as you can see, Tim has a ratio of 10. This means that Tim's income is 10 times greater than his annual interest expense. In other words, Tim can afford to pay additional interest expense. In this respect, Tim's business is less risky and the bank shouldn't have a problem accepting his loan. So, thanks for watching.